Okay, this being 8:33, and we had notice of the meeting go out for an emergency meeting regarding main topic of a referendum. Call the meeting to order as chairperson, J.J. Stankiewicz, and we pledge allegiance to start our meetings. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you take the roll, please?
The content that was advertised on the agenda was...
No, roll.
Oh, the
roll
roll.
call membership. Roll call.
President Stankiewicz.
Here.
Attorney Banks.
Here.
Clerk Bailey here.
We understand that this meeting was called because we have some deadlines with the referendum, and everybody on the board has different places to go, so we need to have sort of a shortened meeting and to get this done so they can attend their next meetings. With that, to start, let's get the main topic out of the way. Madam Clerk, could you read into the record and indicate the dates upon which you received notice of the referendum, and read into the record the actual language of the referendum question?
Madam Clerk, that is also on the resolution, so if you'd like to refer to the resolution that you have before you, that will help with the question as well as the dates. If you look down to...
March 5th.
March 5th is where we received, I believe, the revised question that was approved by the DLGF, and now the election board has to certify the question that has been approved by the DLGF in order to place it on the ballot. We have until noon today to accomplish that.
And Madam Clerk, would you like to read into the question that has been certified by the Department of Local Government and Finance, which is the question that's before you to be certified? You will find that on the first page of the resolution as well as on the second page of the resolution in the index area.
For the 7 calendar years immediately following the holding of the referendum, shall the Duneland School Corporation continue to impose a property tax that does not exceed 22 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation for the purpose of funding and maintaining the current educational and operational programs, including student safety and building security, compensating teachers and staff, maintaining class sizes, and any other educational or operational needs of the school corporation. The tax rate requested in this referendum was originally approved by the voters in the Duneland School Corporation in 2012.
Now, Madam Clerk, you had received notification from the Duneland School Corporation and the DGLF prior to
Yes.
March 5th as to the question, correct?
Correct. There was an error in the wording, and so the question needed to be certified twice.
Okay.
So they were able to get the updated and revised, or the updated question to us with enough time to make the deadline.
Okay. And Madam Clerk, what they had to do was to put in to insert the word continue. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the same question. They just needed to add the word continue.
Prior to entertaining a motion to approve the referendum as submitted to the board, in all fairness, we're aware of the fact that we have the members of the circulated newspapers in our county here. We have a member, I think, of the area which is involved in the audience, and we also have an attorney. And if you could identify yourself.
Yeah, Charles Parkinson, Corporation Counsel for the Duneland School Corporation.
Okay. Would either of you like to make, I think you have a question about this referendum, and I think if you could just summarize it if we've done anything inappropriate in reading it in the record and we've misstated it. Go ahead.
My question was, since this is brought up in the municipality election, Duneland School involves also unincorporated areas, which is Jackson, Westminster, and If this is a municipality election, there are no voting locations in the unincorporated area. And our voters, I feel, have the privilege and the right to vote in their respective voting areas. And I don't see that being addressed as, well, as I read in the paper, that was a municipal election. And if it's, my thought on this is, if the legislature changed things where this referendum has to be renewed, shame on them, they should have made it so that it came up during the general election.
Attorney, would you like to address that?
Madam Clerk can probably address that.
At our last board meeting, we approved locations, assuming that this referendum would be on the ballot. So the polling locations that were approved are closer, and some are included in Jackson Township, Liberty Township. So they may not be the exact polling locations, such as Pine, that they would normally go to, but it will be closer to them. They don't have to go into the town of Chesterton. So the locations, pending the approval of this, were already selected to include those voters. So we'll have,
It covers the school.
yeah, it covers the entire school district. And then the school district will need to pick up that expense so it won't go to the township.
It would be nice if it would be publicized.
Yeah, as soon as the referendum is certified, those locations will be released to the newspapers and to both party chairmen.
But I just think all the unincorporated people aren't looking at going to the election.
I agree.
Because we know this is the time that we go.
Right, I agree.
Well, we have the three members of the leading newspapers who I think will report exactly what occurred here, so that readers of the newspaper at least will know that. Attorney?
Frankly, the school corporation has an interest in voter turnout, and because it believes in the referendum, or believes that the voters will support the referendum. So, and understand that the statute allows for the referendum to be held at either municipal or primary election, or general election, or a special election. And if there is a special election, meaning there's not a primary or a general election being held, then those costs are shifted to the school corporation. Certainly, the school corporation will abide by the statute and pick up the costs of any that are associated with polling in locations that would not be holding a municipal primary. And can I just say one further thing about the language of the question? Understand that the school corporation on February 4th passed its resolution with that very language. It was the DLGF that omitted the words "continue to" in its March 4th findings. That was an oversight that they very graciously acted on immediately to correct so that we could get the question to. So understand that the school corporation got the language correct. The DLGF in acting very quickly read those two words and corrected that. Proper question has been both found in the resolution passed by the school and now the March 5th DLGF.
Is there any other comments concerning the resolution as submitted and then read into the record? There being no further comments, aye or nay, the board would entertain a motion to approve the referendum statement as read into the record and shown on the resolution submitted.
I will point the board's attention to the resolution on number 2, on that resolution, and if there's any kind of word changes that you might want to suggest. But I did have that the election board directs the Porter County clerk to ensure that adequate supply of ballots and voting equipment be delivered to the precinct election board of each precinct in which the referendum is to be held. And
Thank you.
That's language that comes from the statute.
Thank you.
So if that's how you want to approve it, that's fine. If the board sees fit to make any changes of that, then they can.
Any board member have an amendment to the resolution as submitted?
No, I think that's sufficient.
And then I also noted in the resolution that the board is directing the county clerk to publish the public question in accordance with statute, and to file a copy of that with the election division and minutes within the Porter County Election Board, not later than noon, 10 days before the election. Excuse me?
Nothing, we're okay. With that, if there's no other comments, the resolution is submitted by our wonderful attorney, Monica Conrad, and with those explanations, board would again entertain a motion to approve the resolution, which in turn is for the referendum to take place as submitted.
So moved to approve resolution number, I believe it'll be 2019-4. I think we had 3 at our previous meeting,
Thank you.
so I think we will identify this as 2019-4. So moved.
Any second? Second by Jessica, Madam Clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The resolution is submitted, passes by unanimous vote regarding the Duneland referendum.
Good luck.
The next matter, just to fit this in by way of clarification, is the chair is apprised that the majority of the board, not your chair, interprets the law to be that the county major political party chairperson, Democrat and Republican chairperson being Michael Simpson, the Democratic chair being Jeff Chittister, are the primary ones responsible to determine, search, find, and report workers for the upcoming election. And as a result of that, we're asking the newspapers to please take notice of this, and at this time, to indicate the numbers and email of each of those chairpersons for anyone who wants to work in the upcoming elections. And as chair, I would tell you that this is the key to failure or success. And the reason that is so is machines were present in all of the more than 12 precincts that failed to open in the last election under the prior clerk. So it's not the machines. The key is getting the workers out for that 5-member triangle to run each precinct: inspector, clerk, sheriff. So if that isn't there on election day and the key isn't in the door at 6 a.m., you're affecting voter turnout. That is the key to every election. No workers, no precinct. It's as simple as that. So we're encouraging, and do we have a member of the Democratic Party with the chairperson's name for Jeff Chittister? The clerk is not aware of the chairman's phone number? Jeff Chittister.
Yes,
Dick
I have
Conte.
Jeff.
Could you announce that for the press?
I don't know if Jeff wants his number.
Well, how is a worker going to contact a county chairperson if they don't have his number?
I'd first make a request that we address our attorney and tell us what the statute requires and the responsibilities of the poll workers.
Well, what the clerk needs to do is to notify both chairs and let them know that they are to submit names, and they have a deadline to submit names to the clerk as well as to the election board, and that is noon by March the 22nd to have that done.
And Madam Attorney, how do they make the contact? What are the numbers that a worker calls?
That is not defined in the statute. It is that the chairs are to hold those together.
Go to their websites. I know the Democrat Party has a thing to sign up for poll workers, I assume the Republican Party
All right, and for a person who doesn't have a computer, most of our workers are seniors, sir.
I'm looking at the county website and their contact form, and it does not list a phone number.
All right, so if you're not computer literate, you're not going to be able to contact the chairperson?
Well, I'm assuming that the chairs should supply a phone number that people can call. I mean,
Well, how would they supply the phone number if they don't know the worker?
perhaps they should call you and tell you the phone numbers that we can publicize.
That's a clever answer, but I'm asking you right now, let's
I
publish the numbers.
offer the suggestion that they go to the county website. I don't have the answers to all of your questions, and I think that would be up to the county chairs to put out a phone number, because putting out home phone numbers on a public meeting is probably not what they want. But maybe the county chairs can contact the media and give them phone numbers that people can call.
As a,
I know on
as
our
a
end,
practical.
we've reached out to the precinct committee men
Mhm.
to begin the recruiting process, and that's traditionally what we've done.
To this chair, that sounds like a big circle, and I'm trying to cut through this.
Well, I don't have good answers.
And they can call the
and
county,
I-
they can call the clerk's office
Yep.
too. That's
make-
also a source, so
That
I
would make
think that
good-
should also be allowed as well.
Well, what is the public number of the clerk of court's office, and let's have the workers who want to work contact the clerk's office? What's that number?
209-465-3450.
All right. So the best number, if we could publish that, for any worker who wants to work is the clerk's office at that number. Clerk in turn would be sending these names over to each of the county chairs.
Correct.
That'd be a very practical
All right.
solution.
But just as Dave mentioned with the Republicans reaching out to their precinct committeemen, the Democrats have sent their letters out to their precinct committeemen as well. Because it's the chair's responsibility, and then they delegate down to the precinct committeemen, and then it's up to them to fill theirs, and then get those numbers back, those individuals back to the county chairs, and the county chairs give it to the election board.
So I'm going to give you a story why that doesn't work. I'm well aware of that. I acted as a precinct committeeman, and here's my story. I can't come back from communion at a local large Catholic church without being accosted by 4 or 5 people who work as ushers saying, when am I going to be called? Who do I call? Where do I call? This has got to cease, or otherwise we're going to wind up in the same place that occurred at the last busted election. It's going to happen again, is we can't say it's somebody else's problem.
But I
All
don't
right.
think that's been said. I think the option has been presented that they can contact the clerk's office, they can contact their chairs. Now, if they don't know who their county chairs are, that's an issue within the party, and I recognize that, but the county clerk's office is a public office that they can access by telephone. There are other options, as mentioned previously, Facebook and the other social media options to contact their party officials, candidates. I'm sure the party candidates as well can also provide links to get to their party chairs if they're interested in working. And again, I would encourage the newspaper to advertise the clerk's office contact information if somebody is interested in working, so they can contact the clerks, and the clerks can refer them to their appropriate county chairman for each of the political parties.
Okay, with that, we have covered what was the published agenda under the open door law. We do not have any typed minutes of the prior meeting to review or approve, so we will pass on that until the next meeting. The balance of about 8 minutes, we have indicated that as chairperson, I invite public comments or questions from the public concerning any part of our job. Is there anyone in the audience who has a question of any member of the board or the board itself? Is there anyone who feels the need to make a comment about the board or any member of the board? There being none observed, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to conclude the meeting until our next regular stated meeting each month.
Motion
And-
to adjourn?
Motion
You
to
want-
adjourn is made. Is there a second?
Before you do that, do you want to state the date and time for the next meeting so that's clarified?
No, it's set every
Every third
Thursday,
Which is March.
third Thursday of every month. It's been clarified.
Yeah, March the 21st, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, with that, we have a motion to adjourn. Didn't hear a second.
Second.
There being a second to the motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you.